Good morning, all you YouTube followers. Thought I'd start out this morning to tell you just a quick story about why do I have some old cars around here. I'm a house guy, have always been a house guy. Hey! My dad taught me how to solder copper when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. So I was just kind of fascinated. Well, obviously fire. He let me start, sanding fittings and those kinds of things to help him. And then, finally, after probably asking a million times, why can't I do it? He finally let me heat up a fitting and watch how the solder got sucked into that copper. I was addicted. And then it's just kind of always been my thing. Bought my first house when I was 18 and started there. And just since then, it's what I do. It's what I know how to do. So how'd I get into cars? Well, believe it or not, it only happened about 4 or 5 years ago. It actually started out with this little beauty over here. And let me show you that truck. This old girl right here. A 1950 Chevy pickup, step side. It's just a frickin' badass old truck. I was actually told about an old house in the country. I met up with the guy that owned it. It was his in-laws' house. And as we were kind of going through the house and picking this and that, he told me there was an old wheat truck in the barn. And I was like, an old wheat truck in the barn? I'm like, I'm thinking wheat truck, like a 1.5 ton wheat truck. And, but lo and behold, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go out there because there might be some junk in there or something in that barn that maybe would be interesting to look through. And when I opened the door, this is what I saw. This is the condition I got it in. Oh my goodness. To be this original, a one-owner truck with the original sideboards on it, right? These little wheat heads, I'm telling you, this thing just sang to me. That old pitchfork was in here. The old farmer that had it, he actually wired an outlet on here, 6 volt, and in the glove box is actually a little 6 volt light with cloth wire, like a little drop light that they could use. So I pulled this old girl out of the barn. Check this out. Oh, you got to see this. So it's a straight 6 in here. This was the original interior. You got to check this out. Here's a little fan, and this fan works, right? The blades are made out of leather because when you drive, you literally hit your hand on here. But that's AC, man. That's AC, baby, along with these wing windows. And if it doesn't have wing windows, I don't want to own it. That's just kind of how I am. It was packed full of mouse shit, and it still smells like mouse shit in there. But it sat for 20 plus years. I ended up, obviously, I jumped all over this thing. Why? Because it's a challenge. And almost had it unloaded at the mechanic's shop, and I decided, you know what? Let's take it home. My dad was a mechanic early on in his life. This was actually his toolbox right here. He worked at a farm place. I literally got a book on that truck, and I learned how to make it run. And I'm gonna tell you something. When it fired, after rebuilding the carburetor, after cleaning out the piston, after cleaning out moving the cylinders, because it had sat so long, kept moving it, using Marvel mystery oil, and it fired up, and I'm telling you, the mouth came flying out of the muffler. I was addicted. I love pulling old rusty shit out of pastures with a story. This truck has a story. Houses have a story. It's just a vehicle to hear the story, and it just becomes its own little world. That's old green. That's where it started right there, and my addiction to these damn things.